Hi folks, hope you are doing well. Today I, Samik, was working on my AI starter repo kit. And yesterday I told you guys on how I was uploading images. I was converting images into base 64. But when I was uploading files, I was not able to upload PDF because it was not able to convert it into PDF. And that's why I just limited it to use images. But as you know, if when we go for production, using base64 string is not an ideal and efficient method to use. What we should use is S3 cloud storage. And why cloud storage? Why not database? You all know database cannot handle large binary object that can be file. And when you work on local, you handle the file in a different way. But when you work on the server, work on the cloud, you handle the files in a different way. And that's where S3 or cloud storage or data storage comes in place. And the standard method is S3. But if you go to Vercel AI SDK starter kit and documentation, you will get to know that they mention about blob, that is binary large object files, and their data store, which is a great way if you need simplicity. If you go to the blob documentation, you will see that there is only two line of code which you need, that is importing the library of the Vercel blob, and second, use await put. But that method is good for a beginner. But if you need something more robust and something which you can scale and you can implement in different projects as well, if you're not using TypeScript or if you're not using Next.js, and if you're not reliable on Vercel blob, then what should you have an alternative? You can have alternative like Google Cloud, Amazon S3 buckets, or maybe Azure. But I like Cloudflare R2. Why R2? The reason is again very its simplicity, and it says that it asks for zero egress fees. So there will be no cost when you are querying, or there will be no cost when you are fetching. So there are cost only for the request you make to the server. So there is no network fees. That is what we call egress fees. And Vercel doesn't do that free egress fees, but it allows a free tier for up to 1 GB. But Cloudflare R2 again allows free tier up to 10 GB. So there the benefit comes. So if you can see in the screen, I mentioned about Cloudflare R2. You can see global object storage with zero egress fees, right? And now the important part, you can see S3 compatible object storage. So if you know how to use S3, you know how to use Cloudflare R2, and you can see you can easily migrate to. That's why I chose Cloudflare S2, Cloudflare R2. And if you know how to use Cloudflare R2, you know how to use S3, and you also know at the same time how to use Vercel Blob. So this is a complete set of knowledge which you need to build your data storage with Cloudflare. So before we begin, let's see the demo, and then we will understand how to configure Cloudflare R2, and after that how to really configure the AI prompt which will build this application for you. So let me reload this page. So you can see I have started the server with pnpm dev. It has compiled the chat. Now it is fetching all the order related information about the customer. Once it does that, you can see, okay, there is some problem with session, I believe. So what I will do, no, there is no problem. So we will go and see there is no error. It was a temporary error about 401 on the customer state. So this is not an issue with our main functionality. So what I will do, I will reload this page again and I will open the inspect element for you and open the network tab. You can see I have this. Now let's fetch some files. We will, first of all, we will do one image. And you can see this is the upload mechanism. It has sent to API upload. I have created a API route for upload, and I have given the binary file as a input. And here I can see, okay, this is the next config error which I should resolve. Just give me a minute. So here we have to allow this URL. So I will just say allow this HTTP URL. So it will make sure that our bucket.prosummit.com is allowed. So I have created a custom domain for public URLs. This is very important to render the image through public URL. Now I shouldn't see the issue, but I have to reload this page to make sure that our changes are applied. And at the same time, I have to upload the image again. But if you see the response, okay, you will do the thing again and I will show you the response. It is reloading state order. Once it fetches the customer state, now here I can do, let's suppose I have this one, and you can see for the payload I have sent the binary file, and in response I will get the public URL, which you can see it is uploading. Once we receive the URL, we will see what happens. You can see it is now rendering. It is now rendering, and if I go here, you can see it was success. Yes, true. And then the file name, the file type, the size of the file, and the URL, public URL, which is this one, and we need to use this one. And if I tell, can you tell what this is? You can see again, image was sent as an attachment, and now AI will give me the response if there is no error. Hopefully there is no error. Yes, you can see it has got the right context of the right image. So that means our public URL was also fetched by the AI. So there was no issue in downloading that. So this is the demo of how to use Cloudflare R2 for image upload. And not only image upload, you can upload PDF as well. So I will just go for a easy PDF. So you can see PDF is also uploading, and I can upload multiple files as well. So I will just show you how to do multiple file upload. So let me do this and this, and I will write the context. And if I go to the upload, this gave us one URL, but this should give us 3 URLs. So you can again see the file name was this one, type is application PDF, size, then again public URL. Then you can see image was uploaded and it has returned us 3 URL. So let's go to our dashboard and see whether all the files were loaded or not. You can see the time, it's July 7, 7:59 p.m. 1959 hours. So recently we should see 4 files we have uploaded, rather 5 files. So you can see I was trying, so 7:58, one file, this one, Afonso, 5 step, then the PDF, then the image, then the image. You can see PNG, PDF, then PNG, JPEG, and PNG. You can see all the files are uploaded here, and we'll just close this, and we can send this as a context. Okay. So there is one issue. Our send button is not loaded properly. So this must be an issue which we need to figure out. So this is the AI part issue which I have to figure out, not the Cloudflare issue. So you can see how Cloudflare is done. Now let's come to how to actually write this code. So first of all, we will commit this one. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me go to the branch, which I will give you in the Git description below, which you can use. So we are here and we will commit it. So it is generating commit message. It is committed. Now again, this is the branch we need to work upon, and we will sync the changes. Now let's come to the real implementation. So if you go to the env example, what are the important env we need? We don't need account ID. I just skipped that part. We need endpoint. This is the S3 API endpoint, which you will get from the Cloudflare dashboard. Again, you have access key, you have secret access key, you have bucket name, and then your public URL. So if I go to Cloudflare, this is my one of the dashboard. Let me create one more bucket, which you can see demo, then YouTube. So you can give Asia Pacific, or maybe if you're, for example, Vercel deploys my code in West and North America. I'm just considering that must be the case. So I will choose the closest nearest location for the S3 bucket, and if you go to settings, you will get the S3 API. This is the URL. This is the URL which you have to give here, which you can see. After that, I have access key. So for access key, we have to generate tokens. And if you go to again here, and if you go here and use R2 with API, this is not the ideal way. You have to go with manage API tokens. So if you go to create account API token, you can give the name and you can write what all are the accesses we have to give in. For example, read and write. You can also whitelist some of the APIs. You can later on edit it also. And what is the token will stay alive? Let's say only for 24 hours. For example, this is what I did. So you will get a token value. This is not required for us. Actually, this is not required. We need this one, access key ID and secret access key. These two we need for our item, and the bucket name will be same as this one, which you can see. So I will just maybe delete it. So what was that? Okay, this one. So I can delete it, I can edit it, you can see what I can do. After that, if I go, you can see I have demo YouTube. So this bucket name will go here, demo YouTube, and public URL you have to configure for each one of it. So if you are using it for development, you can always create public development URL. If you enable this, this will give a public URL which you can use in your bucket, or you can link it with your custom domain. So what I did, I linked it with my custom domain, which you can see bucket.prosemic.com. So here you will give the public URL. So you can feel free to copy this. This is the great example you would need. And once you are done with env example, obviously you have to configure this next config also if you're using Next.js. If you're not, you can skip this part. And let's come to the library which we have to create to store Cloudflare compatible. Like we have to convert it into AWS SDK, right? AWS SDK for S3. And you can see we are converting it to S3 compatible API. So we are creating client, and we are getting S3 client from again SDK. So you can see I'm giving the value region. It will be auto like verified from the dashboard only, and then the endpoint which I've mentioned in the environment variable, and then credential success key and secret access key. These are required. After that, I will upload my file, and I've created a function for uploading file to R2. For that, you need bucket name and you need public URL. If there is no public URL, it throws an error. If there is, then it continues. So it generates a unique key for accessing that particular file. So whatever file name you have in local, that is not accessible in the cloud storage. So cloud storage, we create a new file name, and for that we have logic like create it to upload directory with timestamp with random suffix and then file name. So this creates a unique file name for that, so there is no conflict between each file. And after that, you can see that is command. We are giving command that is bucket key body content type, and then we send this client dot send. This pushes this file to our cloud storage. After it is pushing it, it returns us the public URL, which is just creating from our own environment variables, and it returns the public URL and the key, which you can see. And this is get pre-signed download URL. This is we are not using, but if you want to create some files which has expiry, that is I cannot access it after some period of time, then you can create a pre-signed URL, and it will have some expiry, and it will depend on that expiry. For example, for 1 hour it can download, after 1 hour it will not be accessible through this URL. So this is pre-signed URL. And what are the files type we are supporting? That is image file type, you can see, and then PDF and plain text. These are the file types we are supporting right now. Because this is a data storage, we can upload audio waveform, as well as we can support MP3, MP4. A lot of things can be uploaded, but we are right now limiting it to PDF and plain text. And after that, we have JPEG, PNG, then GIF and WebP. And if it is not supported file type, it will throw an error. So this is the checking like if the file type is supported or not. So if we go here, okay, we have not verified it here, like we are just uploading the file directly. So this is one of the issue we have to figure out. We only upload only the files which are supported. So yes, we can see this is an issue, we will fix it. And after that, you can see when we have uploaded, created the library on how to actually use the S3 client, we have to understand how to create the API. So if you go to the API of chat, not the chat upload, we have API upload route.ts. So this you can see we are sending post request and it will see. So again, what here I can see the issue is we are not verifying the get session. We should actually get the session of the user. If it is not, then we will just throw an error. Like in other routes, you can see we had then. So this is the important part. So this is what we have to do. If we don't do, then this throws an error. And you can see if we upload, yes, this is what you have to. If this is not a user session, we will throw an error, not authenticated. And after that, you can see it gets the file, upload it to our client. The max file size is 10 MB here. Okay, so we are using the hook here. You can see not in the client, but we are using the hook in the API upload. So this is one of the important thing we have to understand. If this is not image and PDF, then we throw an error. After that, if it is greater than max file size, we throw an error. After that, everything is properly authenticated and everything properly checks out, validated. We upload it to our Cloudflare and we take time to upload. And we upload it, and after we have uploaded, we send a promise that we will receive a URL. And once we receive the URL, we show it to console, and not only console, we show it to our client. So this is the API. Now we will see how we are doing the chat. And here you can see this is the upload file function. So whenever we are uploading by using drag and drop or using attachment clip, you can see I am just calling the API upload. If response not okay, then we said upload failed. If response is okay, we just return the files to those function which have called this function const upload files. So you can see how we have done the upload functionality. And this is one of the important part. Earlier we were using base64, but now we are using data storage. And if you would have used blob, for example, I can go to this, maybe this example I was referring to. So if you go to upload, this was the simple thing, and that was import put from Vercel Blob, and then we obviously check the file whether it is PDF or PNG or something like that. If it is not session, no request body, then we get the form, validate the file, and then we create a file buffer, which you can see, and this file, and we make it public access, and we just send the URL to the client which has called this item, right? So this was the blob which is done in one file of code, but we had to create a different library for using Cloudflare R2. But that is more reliable because Cloudflare R2 doesn't have an egress phase, and it also gives a 10 GB storage, so you can test out multiple projects at one go. But in Vercel Blob, you will, in free tier, you will get only 1 GB. So that's why I use Cloudflare to experiment more. You can choose your own provider as per your choice. And again, this is the one of the best simple way to integrate S3 in your project. And tomorrow I will work on the chat persistence, like storing chat history and everything. So do follow up on. And if you need this repository's code, then check out the link below from grablink.xyz. You will get the GitHub URL directly into your inbox. So yeah, see you in the next video. And if you have anything for request, just put it in the comments or let me know from any form of social media. See you guys. Wait you in the next video. Bye.